Welcome to the Travel Agency Near podcast. I'm your host, Rachel K with elevatewithrachelk.com. If you need help building a travel business that builds you up, Elevate with Rachel K has various little programs. This podcast as well, I'll mention like books you can pick up, other courses and resources for travel advisors specifically that you can look into. If I mention something, it's because I know it, or I know the company that's created the product and I trust them. I'm not just going to throw everything out there. I don't know everything about different trainings offered. Anyway, this whole podcast is a year of transforming you into the CEO of your travel business. If you would like the companion course, $35 a month is the Success Circle at elevatewithrachelk.com. Today's episode is focusing on the travel advisor's communication philosophy. What is a communication philosophy? Great question. It is all about how and your purpose for communicating with your clients. Why do you want to do this? I'm going to flip around on my notes here. Why would you want to establish a communication philosophy? It can pull any chaotic situations into intentional communication and problem solving. And it makes you less reactive. We don't know what's going to happen with our clients or with their trips or in our personal lives that could affect how we're handling the business that we're running, right? So having a standard communication philosophy will pull you back to reality if things do get hectic and chaotic for one reason or another. And it will help create an intentional client experience rather than not practicing being even keeled and being more reactive. Reactive is esta no bueno. Terrible at Spanish. It also ensures that the client experience is consistent with you because you communicate in the same way and you communicate the same things every time. If you haven't heard it by now, I'm a huge fan of creating rinse and repeat processes like you are McDonald's drive-through and they have the expectation of, I know it's going to take 4 minutes for me to get through. I order first, then I pay, then I get my food. Sometimes I got to pull forward, but I get fresh and hot French fries. You know what I mean? You know what's going to happen at a McDonald's. And that's why I reference McDonald's because everyone listening knows the experience and you should strive to do that in your business. Okay. Consistency is so important. It improves your efficiency because you can templatize your communication because you have a standard communication philosophy for your business. This isn't necessarily this is how I'm going to communicate with my family and friends and parents. No, this is business. It's business time. Fly to the Concords. Go listen to that song. It's a good one. But you can templatize everything in your automated emails and therefore your workflows to manage your clientele. And that gives you increased efficiency in serving your clients because you're remaining consistent and you have the same messaging and same communication methods. It also helps protect your reputation because you have an established way of communicating and your clients will come to have respect for how you operate your business. And if crazy things happen, you will be able to not react and respond. And you are more likely going to show empathy because you will have your standard, okay, well, I've got to educate you on this, or I've got to support you in this matter, whatever the case may be. It helps you honestly create your brand voice. If you've been struggling with your brand voice, that's a few episodes back. But if you have been struggling with your brand voice, not to worry. If you have a communication philosophy that's going to tie into your brand voice, which is kind of like the overall personality of your travel agency. So this could be helpful in that regard. And because you are consistent, because you don't react to any kind of chaos from your clients or from the trip itself or any DMCs or wholesalers, because it could happen, hoteliers, whatever. It's going to build trust and loyalty with your client because they know what to expect. Back to the McDonald's. Like, I don't go to McDonald's, but I know exactly what's going to happen when I decide to go to McDonald's. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not there every day. I don't have stock McDonald's or anything like that. Don't get confused there. But I know that they're going to be consistent. And if I have to choose between, like on a road trip, between a McDonald's or questionable drive through that's only local to that town, and I'm kind of on a time crunch, I'm going to go with what I know is going to be consistent. So I'm going to be more loyal to McDonald's, right? You guys are like, why are you talking about McDonald's? I'm not hungry, I promise. Okay. Lastly, why do you want to have a communication philosophy? Because it kind of it's part of your SOPs, your standard operating procedures. So when you do hire out, you have this, like, this is how we communicate. Here's our templates. Here's our workflows. This is what we do. You want to be part of this organization or not? Okay. So that's the why. What the heck am I talking about though? So what is your purpose for communicating with your clients? Do you just send them an invoice and be like, thanks, I'll get you your travel docs later. Bye. Thanks for the commish, baby. Or do you want to offer more support and education? Do you want to prepare them for like a family trip with like packing lists or safety tips if they're going to a country that has a completely different culture from what they normally experience day to day? Do you want to build confidence for in your clients so that they are like, I can do this. I can do this. If my flight's delayed, I know exactly what to do and I know my rights. Do you want to do that? What is the purpose of this? Do you want to offer insider access? Maybe you offer a lot of a specific cruise line or a resort brand. And because of that, you can throw in some additional perks and tips and tricks. Or like you've been to this place so many different times, you can be like, hey, you need to go over here in a secret little pre travel guide that only you offer. That could be part of your communication philosophy as well. It could be dietary restrictions and food allergy information if you're good at that, timeline coordination for weddings or corporate events, stress reduction strategies for when they are traveling, stay hydrated. Don't listen to my own advice, but I will like intentionally dehydrate myself on travel day. And then I'm like, why am I such a grump? Harumph. But I do let all of my clients know, like, you are going to be grumpy your first day. If anything's off, you're not going to be happy. You need alcohol if you drink, and you need probably some salt, like a burger. Go grab a cheeseburger or something. And I tell them that before they leave. I don't wait for them to have a travel emergency and be like, get a burger. It's not very good communication. Get over yourself. So when you're coming up with your communication bleh, communication philosophy for your travel business, the main thing that you want to consider when you are doing this is your ICA's top 3 communication needs. So if your ICA is a parent that wants to book a lot of family travel and they have young children, and we can go even deeper and the children have food allergies or maybe autism and you're very well versed on like the autism spectrum and that kind of thing. Let's just go real deep in this niche, okay? You could offer so much communication with them about, okay, this resort that you've chosen, based on your child's diagnosis, they're going to have a better time doing X, Y, and Z. These are the things that they need to be doing. And because of their food allergy restrictions, I have done X, Y, and Z, or dietary restrictions, sorry. I have already communicated this with this property in the kitchen staff, and you need to have this thing, prepped, like allergy card thing, ready to go. And you should have travel insurance just in case if it, I don't, I don't know why I chose this example, but, and then when you're packing, this is what you can expect on travel day. So you should probably have these items that your child enjoys to keep them calm so they aren't overstimulated. And you should pack snacks if they have dietary restrictions and major food allergies to prevent any possible cross contamination from ordering food at like the airport restaurants or on the plane, even. You can communicate all of those things. Are those in the top three for your ICA? Like, do they need to know about the food allergies? Do they need to know about is a resort or what cruise line, whatever, friendly for children with autism? Or is it a wedding client or corporate events client where do they need to know how does this process work for the event planning side? How do I make this day of timeline work or event timeline work for my company? So those are going to be like big needs, and those are different needs from like family travel. Whew, that's a lot of information in 11 minutes. Again, this will make your life 1,000 times easier if you just have this is exactly what I offer. And it also, obviously, if you haven't picked up on it yet, your communication is aligned with what you offer. So if you offer coordination services and timeline stuff for like events and weddings, you should be marketing that, and you should be communicating that you are doing that and communicating with your clients throughout the process. If that's like your top value that you market, you need to have it in your communication philosophy, and you need to have it in your standard operating procedures and your workflows. Otherwise, everything's going to go downhill. Okay. All right. So that is day 35, staying alive. I feel like every day that ends in a five, I'm going to come up with a stupid rhyme. Thanks for listening to this episode. If you found this episode to be helpful, please like, subscribe, or share with a travel advisor that's also riding the struggle bus to get their business off the ground. And come back for tomorrow because we're going to talk more about communication standards, not just the philosophy, but the bare minimum that you're going to do in your business, how you're going to do it. Again, it relates a lot to a lot of the things that we've discussed today. Until then, have a wonderful day. Why can't I stop? Oh.